Hi, I'm Realtor Bert Tade, and welcome to another edition of Sipping Coffee or Tea with Realtor Bert Tade. This is an educational video series designed to help the real estate community, the general public in San Antonio and beyond, uh, kind of maneuver through the hype, the hoopla, and yes, even the media negativity surrounding our real estate industry. Today's topic is going to be part two uh, of two, uh, and it's basically going to be should I stay or should I go, right? So the idea is should I update the home that I'm in, or should I move to a newer house? And this, in the last video, we talked about updating your current home. This one, of course, is going to be moving to a newer house. So this is again part two, and because of the lengthiness of these particular topics, I decided to split them up. So here we go. Obviously, this is going to be a very significant choice for you to make. In the last video, we talked about all the reasons why maybe it makes more sense for you to stay put. However, if you think that maybe you would like to make a move, here are some considerations because it is a significant decision to make, and it's going to hinge upon various factors, including personal preferences, your financial situation, and of course, your long-term goal. Moving to a newer house, we're first going to talk about the condition and the age of your current property, right? So, if your current home requires, extensive repairs and updates, maybe even there's been some deferred maintenance, as we say. I've explained in other videos that deferred maintenance is basically the idea of kicking the can down the road, right? Like you've decided you haven't wanted to paint and so forth. One example, by the way, here in San Antonio is T111 siding. What's that? Well, it's that wood siding that every 8 to 12 inches or so, you see the lines going vertically. It's wood, right? And wood. Let's face it, is an organic substance, and it is vulnerable to the elements, right? Don't let anybody tell you it doesn't rain in South Texas, right? Here we are in San Antonio, South Central Texas. It rains. Absolutely. The ground is super wet right now. Driving my real estate signs into front yards for my listings, um, it's really a cinch right now. As opposed to, let's say the summertime where the ground is like super hot. I mean, super hot outside and the ground's super hard, right? It's like a rock. So it's a different time right now, right? So uh, T111 siding is a great material if and only if you paint it periodically. The recommendation I've learned is between 2 and 3 years. Now, because it is a very prominent siding where builders might have used it to save on brick, they wanted to save costs, and it was before the advent of cement fiberboard or better known as hardy board for the exteriors, which is a great material. It's robust, it's indestructible practically, and it's paintable, and it lasts forever. Unlike that, T111 has to be painted every 2 to 3 years, and a lot of folks skip out on painting that, and especially the two-story houses. They'll have brick down below, but they'll have T111 on the second floor throughout the entire house, sometimes all the way around. And some houses are brick on one side and T111 on three sides. And that's a lot to paint. So therefore, the cost to do that increases, and it absolutely is expensive to do it every 2 to 3 years. However, doing so makes it impervious to the elements. So even though it's an organic substance that can rot, basically, wood rot is prevalent in T111 siding, and now becomes a little bit of a headache when you go to sell it, the home, because of deferred maintenance, especially at the ends where the it's like almost like a drip edge or drip ledge where the T111 ends. Water begins to kind of collect there at the bottom as it's dripping, and again, if it hasn't painted often enough, begins to rot. It begins to expand, really ugly, and just like the organic substance, around a lot of window frames, right, on the exterior, the 1x4s around the windows a lot of times, and those tend to rot as well if you don't paint them on a regular basis. So condition and age, maybe it's old and maybe it's practical to find a newer home which requires less immediate work. And remember that if you are going to sell that home, the aforementioned home that is in less than perfect condition and does need the T111 siding either replaced and or painted and so forth before you list and you want to move, remember to call me because of our affiliation with ReUp. I'm the broker consultant for ReUp San Antonio, my brokerage, Santino Properties that I own. I'm the managing broker, and I'm also the consultant for ReUp, right? So what we do is we find the as-is value for a property, and then we find the after repair value. ReUp will come in and partner with the home seller to help them increase the value. They're only going to put into the home which is going to increase that value, and they front the money for the renovation. That is labor, materials, and project management, so that you can realize a gain, a better gain on the sale of that home, increased value by that renovation, thereby modernizing the home for today's buyers. 6 or 7 out of every 10 buyers now are millennials. Forgive the expression if you are Generation Y, you don't like that term. I say that because more people can relate to that term, so hopefully you don't find that offensive. But I will say that that generation especially, when they buy homes, they want turnkey. They want quick and easy, and they want to be able to move right in. And guess what? ReUp offers that possibility for the seller to make more money on that home sale, but it also helps the buyer because they will do the structural and demolition work to 80%. And then the home is held open in an austere condition. And then the technology, which again, millennials love. The technology's on a tablet screen like an iPad in the open house, or a laptop screen like this. And then they are given the choice of their finishes, the color of their flooring, the color of the paint on the walls, the color of their granite on their countertops, color of the paint on the cabinets, a number of choices, right? The backsplash, the color of the new appliances. Do you want stainless steel? Do you want darker color, white, whatever? So they're given that choice. And that's a really cool thing, because then you as a home seller are going to make more money on the renovation. ReUp asked for, obviously, at closing, at settlement, for the renovation to be paid for, right, that they fronted the money for. It's not a loan, by the way, and they don't charge points on the money. They do so through their credit lines. And at closing, the upside which is created, again, the extra value from between as is and after renovation value, that is split at 50-50 with ReUp, and 50% goes to the home seller. But it didn't cost them a dime to get that extra equity squeezed out of the property, and it's so much better than going out and dumping the property to an investor who's going to make their equity on the family's dime, on their back, right? Because the family lived in the house for who knows how long. Maybe they lived there 10, 20, even 30 years. Why shouldn't that equity stay where it belongs, in their pocket, right? So that's condition and age. I'd like to talk to you also about the desired features, because if you desire features that are more modern, your current home lacks. Maybe it's the space, maybe it's the amenities, maybe it's compartmentalized home from the 1950s, 60s, 70s, galley kitchens. You want a big open design, right? Although re-up can do that, maybe you prefer to have that as move right in type of situation, and you want a different layout, and you think this is the best way to obtain that. Well, you can go. By the way, you can go shop for an existing home that already has those amenities, or once again, re-up has another program. Forgive my saying this, but that's what it's called. Go flip yourself. And it's a really interesting program because this one enables us to go out and shop for a house that is a fixer-upper. It needs renovation. Maybe it still has that 1980s wallpaper. And remember, here with Santino Properties LLC, we're marketing experts. So we can even go out and help you find a home on our dime, which is off market, right? It's an unlisted property. We give you priority access to those homes here in San Antonio because we reach out to prospective sellers in an area where it's most desirable for you. Maybe it's the mature trees, maybe it's the access to major thoroughfares such as Thousand Oaks, 151, wherever the area of town is, right? Stone Oak Parkway, wherever. Arrowhead in Stone Oak, for example, it's a great location. It's also one of the older sections of Stone Oak, 1980s construction. Maybe you want to live in Stone Oak, but you really don't want to take on that renovation project after buying it. Well, once again, re-up has a buyer's program, which is exclusively for buyers, right? I told you the traditional method, which is to help home sellers, which also helps home buyers because they get to choose their own finishes. However, this one is where you're the buyer, and you want a renovated house where you get to choose your own finishes by hiring re-up to basically you qualify for the loan, right? Up to a certain amount, you tell us what it is. We're going to shop for a house which is well under that budget. It's a fixer-upper, and it needs maybe a complete renovation, maybe even the removal of walls to open up the house to make it more conducive to an open floor plan concept, right? Whatever that is, re-up then really purchases the home for you. Then they front the renovation dollars. Again, it doesn't cost you a dime. All you have to do is be able to pay off that loan at closing. And whenever you buy the house, right? As long pay off re-up with your loan, I should say. Your mortgage is what pays off re-up. I beg your pardon. So, and what happens is that now there's an as-is value, right? That re-up's going to buy the house for. And because a lot of houses are sitting, especially a lot of stinkers are sitting long days on market, we can negotiate a better price for you. And now your renovation budget is this. We established that, and now the upside, which is now created, you're going to pay for the higher cost house with, again, the loan that you've already qualified for. You've demonstrated to re-up that you've already achieved RWA status. So that whatever that difference is, 50% of that goes to re-up, and the other 50% goes to you. You get the renovated house, and you get 50% of the upside which has been created in the house, and those become your down payment and closing costs. You say, well, Bert, yeah, but I already have a house to sell. Because I'm sitting on a ton of equity right now. Great. What are you going to do with that equity? Because you just got your closing costs and your down payment essentially paid for. You can put more down to then finance less, if that's what you prefer. You can use it to pay off debt. You can whatever you want to do with that extra money that comes from the sale of your current home, right? Those net proceeds. And remember, through our target marketing here with Santino Properties LLC, we have a unique way, proprietary way, that's going to help us find the most opportune buyers for that home, thereby, again, squeezing out the most equity that we can. Less time, least amount of hassle, and of course, a higher sales price. So, energy efficiency is another reason why you might want to sell your current home. Maybe it was a home that was built in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. I'm in a house that was built in 59. Leaks like a sieve. Here we are in January of 2024, and we have they say a serious cold front coming, like an Arctic blast. I'm not looking forward to that one, man. My furnace is gonna run non-stop. That's how it was a few Februarys ago when we had that really serious cold front that came in, and the pipes were burst and all this. It was a really bad storm. My home requires more insulation in the attic, right? And the newer homes will offer that energy efficiency, right? Which can lead to cost savings on utilities, reduced environmental impact, right? But maybe you are in that older home, and for example, you think we can make it more efficient by blowing insulation into the attic. And by the way, again, I've talked to you about this before. I have access to a lot of terrific contractors. Anything related to the home, it's a plumber, attic insulation contractor. I have a great, terrific guy. I have a terrific plumber, electrician. Anything related to the home, to lending, I have a terrific lender partner. Shout out to Pat Fitzgerald, my friend. And downsizing, we have companies that help seniors downsize, declutter, pack for that next move. Downsizing to a smaller home because maybe they're in 3,000 square feet and they're going down to 1,800. Who knows, right? So you got to downsize, right? You got to declutter. I have companies that do that. Tax professionals that are excellent in tax strategies. If you're investing in real estate and you want to learn how to depreciate, 1031 exchanges, things of that nature, just real tax strategy kind of stuff. Attorneys, we've got it all under one roof, right? Up here on Loop 410, where I'm located, right? Here, 410 and Harry Wurzbach at my office. Got everything under one roof, right? We're a one-stop shop for that kind of stuff. But maybe you think that you get that insulation quote from my insulation guy, and you say, you know what, that's a lot of money. Because simple building science tells us that there are heat exchanges that occur between the attic and the conditioned space or living space. So to avoid those heat exchanges, thereby, of course, making your air conditioner run a lot more in those summertime months. First of all, you can blow in insulation. However, the newer homes feature roof decking called Tech Shield, which is a product made by LP. And it's a roof decking, to be sure. However, it's so robust that it actually has a reflective film on the inside that goes in, that faces the attic. It's a reflective surface, so if you've ever gone to a new construction house and you've seen, or a newer construction, I should say, and you see like a kind of like almost like aluminum foil or something, right? That's LP Tech Shield, and it basically bounces the rays of the sun off of the roof, thereby keeping the attic cooler, thereby reducing the number of heat exchanges between the building envelope and the attic, which gets very hot in the summertime. So what am I saying? I'm saying maybe you don't want to deal with those upgrades, right? You don't want to deal with winterizing and all the kind of stuff that comes with older homes, and maybe move into that house, that newer home, or one that you can renovate now that you know that Re-Up offers Go Flip Yourself programs for buyers. Maybe that makes a little bit more sense for you. Maintenance costs might be another reason for you to want to move. We talked about deferred maintenance, and the newer homes, of course, are going to require less ongoing maintenance because, again, maybe it was built instead of with an organic substance such as T111, but maybe it's built with that hardy board, right? That cement fiber board, and it's very paintable, very robust. So they'll have a lot fewer maintenance and repairs that are needed in newer homes, right? And of course, the market conditions is another thing to think about, right? Maybe the real estate market in your area is very favorable, right? In your particular neighborhood. Folks, there are 19,000 neighborhoods in San Antonio, right? 505 square miles in the city, all right? A lot of neighborhoods. So because of that, you're going to find that there are some neighborhoods that perform a lot better than others, right, in terms of resale. It's going to play a significant role, and maybe you can sell your current home at a favorable price, and buy a new one at a reasonable price, right? I told you a couple strategies with re-up to both squeeze the most equity out of your current home and, of course, renovate the new home without any kind of construction loans and consumer loans and all that kind of stuff. And re-up's not going to charge you any money for fronting that capital either. It's not a loan. They're not going to charge you to ask you to sign loan documents or charge you points. So it might be a good reason to consider moving. And your long-term plans, obviously, this is the last really big factor I want to talk about on instead of updating the home, deciding to relocate to a different home. So if your long-term plans don't accommodate, your home doesn't accommodate your needs, right, for those long-term plans, such as a growing family, or your desire to downsize like we talked about, then maybe it is time to consider a move as well. And we talked about in the last video, location. Maybe location no longer works for you, right? Maybe you got a job transfer to another area, right, to another part of the city, and now you don't want to deal with that Loop 410 traffic westbound at even before Crossroads, right, before I-10, where it starts to really back up, going out toward Alamo Ranch and all the western areas, 151 out that area. It gets super heavy. Maybe you say, you know what, I don't want to spend 45 minutes to an hour in my car every day. I have a gentleman that I helped buy a brand new house. It was his first house in America. He's Puerto Rican. His family, they're Puerto Rican. He and his wife. And I helped him rent their apartment, and I helped him buy their first house. And now he's talking to me because he got a job in Seguin. He's talking to me about selling this house that he's currently in that I helped him buy brand new. It was a brand new home, and go find new construction in Seguin. Why? Because he got a job that relocated him to Seguin, but he's still commuting every day. He's like, dude, I'm spending way too much time in my car. I'm missing out on time that I could be spending with my kids. The commute is 1 hour each way, 2 hours a day. If you can get that time back, we only have so many hours in a day, right? But if you can get that time back, think about how special that can be to spend time with his baby and his. Oh gosh, I went to his daughter's first birthday party. It was she must be 3 now, maybe 4. Yeah. So, and a baby. So if you love your current neighborhood, but you have that commute that is really just wearing on you, maybe it is time, to have that relocation in mind, right? Maybe that's a strong enough incentive. And finally, the financial considerations, right? Evaluate your financial situation, including the mortgage rates, property values in your area, in your specific neighborhood, and your ability, of course, to secure financing for the home. We talked about all the ways that we can help you if you can qualify for RWA status, and you can make that move now. A credit score, all the things that are important, your DTI, debt to income ratio. Maybe it makes sense based on, again, your neighborhood and how your neighborhood is performing right now in terms of real estate activity. But either way, reach out to me. My phone number, it depends on the platform you're watching this, but it's up above. Feel free to reach out to me. It's basically 210-376-TALK, right? It's pretty easy. Talk is 8255, right? So 210-376-TALK. It's in the post up above. You're free to leave me a comment below. I want you to tell me what you think about this video series, educational video series. However, more than anything else, reach out to me for guidance. What is your updated equity analysis? I'll go through and see what the neighborhood's doing in terms of performance. No cost for that. I'll do it free of charge. It's a free home value, right? I do that. I advertise this online as well. I'm happy to be a resource to our community. I'm happy to help out. I'm happy to educate, which is why we do this video series, right? I'm happy to speak to different topics, right? And with good relevant information that can be really helpful and perhaps of service to you. So reach out to me. I'm happy to give you that updated equity analysis. Maybe that'll help you decide, right? Whether you should stay or go, right? Just like the Clash song says. Should I stay or should I go now, right? So in many cases, the decision to update your home or stay where you're at hinges on a combination of things, right? Financial feasibility, your specific needs and desires, long-term future needs, the current condition of your home, current condition of the market, a lot of different reasons, right? And it could be very helpful to start with consulting with me or with any other real estate professional. There's 14,000 of us that are members of the San Antonio Board of Realtors, by the way. So you can pick anybody. But I'd like to help you free of charge. I'd like to be a resource to you and to help you make that informed choice. Remember, there's no one size fits all in this scenario. What might work for one family or person might not work for another, right? So be sure to take into account everything that is going to be important in order for you to make an educated and well-informed decision, right? And it starts by doing your due diligence, right? Because remember, we talked about this in other videos, that buying a home is not an event, right? It's a process you go through, right? Nobody wakes up one day and says, hey, let's go buy a house today. It's a process you go through, right? You're going to research for a while, you do some due diligence, consult, with industry experts like myself. I'm more than happy to be a resource to you. So this has been another edition of Sipping Coffee or Tea with Realtor Bert Tade. Hopefully you enjoyed this educational video, which is part 2 of 2 videos. Should you stay in your current home, or should you decide and update it, or should you decide to perhaps look for another space, right? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching.